Investigators in Magaluf have now completed their autopsy and have ruled out the possibility that Michael Grant was killed by a hit-and-run driver. He had some unexplained injuries on his leg, and investigators initially believed that this may have contributed to his death. They've ruled out these injuries did not cause his death now. Now, he also had bite marks on his body, and investigators continue to carry out tests on saliva taken from those bite marks. They've also carried out toxicology reports tests at this stage, and he did have alcohol and perhaps another substance in his system. And these tests have been, further tests are now being carried out in a specialist lab in Barcelona to determine if these may have caused directly to his death. Well, his family are still over there, and obviously they're devastated by what has taken place over the last couple of days. We've heard nothing from them at the moment, but his friends and close associates down in Waterford in the southeast of Ireland are devastated by what's happened. There's been a number of tributes which have been paid to him over the last couple of days, and it's certainly hit the community down there quite hard. He was a local soccer coach with the underage team, St. Joseph's, down there, and they've been paying tribute to him over the last couple of days. He was very well liked and a huge part of their community, and involved in a number of underage teams, and he'll be sorely missed by everybody at the club. Well, he was a married father of four, and now we know he was away with his wife and at least two of his children, and possibly some other friends from Ireland. They were staying in a four-star resort called the Sol Kathmandu Park Resort in Magaluf, which is a well-known holiday spot for many people from Ireland and England. He seems to have gotten separated from his group on the day, so police are still anxious to speak to family members about what happened, or certainly what had transpired in the moments before he got separated. But they will be speaking to those people in the coming days as part of their investigation into what happened. But it's unlikely at this point that the investigation will be upgraded to murder, because the injuries on his body are not consistent with, certainly they didn't contribute to his death. But they're anxious to speak to anybody who may have been in contact with him in the moments before he collapsed on the street, because certainly persons certainly contributed to injuries that have been found on his body.
I thought it was very interesting when the post-mortem results showed that there was alcohol and cocaine in his blood system, together with the detail regarding the injuries to his legs, glass in a cut on his back, and also bite marks. When we put all of these matters together and examine them, it comes as a huge surprise to me that the Guardia Civil say this is not a homicide inquiry, this is not a murder inquiry, but there are questions that need to be answered. There's a bit of mixed messaging going on there, and I think it's a little confusion, if not only for me, but for many other people, perhaps including his family. Well, if there was saliva on his body, that would, of course, be an extremely efficient way of gathering the DNA of whosoever it was that left those bite marks. It's a really solid way of establishing a DNA profile fairly quickly and very efficiently. I would apply a rule that used to feature in the murder investigation handbook, and that says, think murder until proven otherwise, because there clearly are a number of questions here. What's to say that the alcohol and cocaine in his blood system is not linked to the injuries, which may or may not have been incurred by vehicle, which may in turn be linked to the bite marks? It all could be part of one particular narrative. Okay, they may be separate. They may be from separate incidents and completely unconnected, but only by adopting the position that I'm going to treat this as a murder and therefore cover all options until it's proven that it's not. There are so many red flags from what we've heard. Bite marks, apparently another wound that may have glass in it, injuries to his legs that may or may not be consistent by being hit by a vehicle. There are so many question marks thrown up here that are absolutely shouting from the rooftops, deal with this like a murder inquiry, get the necessary resources on board, carry out all the necessary inquiries, get the post-mortem done, CCTV, house to house, preserve the scene as well. What do we know? Where did it happen? Are there any forensic opportunities? This is 2024. Forensic evidence is crucial in so many cases. I just sincerely hope that the Civil Guard haven't dropped their guard, so to speak, here, and missed opportunities, because any wise, pragmatic detective will tell you when it comes to forensic opportunities, you only get one chance to get it right. I've spent a lot of time down in that part of Spain, and let me tell you, all the devils are there. Organised crime from around Europe and beyond, particularly unpleasant, vicious, wicked criminals. Like everywhere else, it's got a sex industry. It's got a rampant drugs industry. There is an undercurrent of violence amongst all of the serious and organised crime out there. And tourists are so often blind to it, because if you don't see it and you don't know how to recognise it, then it won't stand out to you. An innocent person going on holiday with their family who hasn't spent their life fighting crime, looking for bad people, might not see what is actually on their doorstep. If you have seen, or you think you saw or heard or witnessed anything that may be suspicious, then go to the Guardia Civil website and see if they've already put up appeal notices and if there's a way in which you can contact them. If not, go to the Guardia Chicana in Ireland, get onto their website, tell them what you know, because I'm sure in circumstances as suspicious as this, the guards are going to want to put a family liaison officer in place to speak to the Guardia Civil and help the family, who must, of course, be having the most traumatic time, and my thoughts are very much with them.